Hey, what's up? My name is Ren. Welcome back to the studio. Today I'm home. It's a cloudy, gloomy day, and today is a day I just want to do nothing. And on those days when I want to do nothing, I still need to do something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if it's not art, but I like to find different ways to stay connected to my creativity. And one of those ways, which I've wanted to talk about so much, is through reading and writing. Writing is such a big part of my life. Other than making visual art, I think writing informs my art practice so much. So I'm just here chilling on the floor, and I have a stack of books. The thing is with my creativity is that I operate so much off of inspiration. Inspiration is such a huge part of my life, and I want to bring a little bit more consistency into my art practice, into making art. But sometimes when you're just consistently making art, I don't know, it can take something away from your creativity sometimes. It makes it more, or less, I should say, like less inspired, less. My art making is so inspiration and emotion driven, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think sometimes your most beautiful work can come from those moments of feeling so inspired. Anyway, so we're going to do some inspiration gathering today. This is a poetry book, Mary Oliver Devotions, that has a collection of poems that I love so much. Actually, you see I have some pages marked off. I even have a bookmark, which I totally forgot that I left here. I painted this bookmark such a long time ago, and it's a huge bookmark, I know. Let me read you this poem. It's called Wild Geese. It says, "You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things." I love that because it talks so much about how we are one with nature, which is something that I love to explore in my art. You know, we're not separate from nature. And it also talks about imagination, which is something I touched on. I think it's how to think like an artist, because imagination is just so vital. It's just so key. I love Mary Oliver's poems because they're so nature-based. So I think I'm gonna do some reading today, do some writing today, and gather some inspiration. I've just been sitting here thinking about creativity, you know, and how it just works, just how it works. Your only job as the artist is to nourish it, to nurture it, to give your art your creativity what it needs to grow and to flourish. You know, it doesn't operate on a schedule, on a time frame. It operates how it operates. It's not our job to control it, but it's our job to feed it. Lately, I've just been my energy's just been so low. And usually when I get in these, I don't want to call it a slump, but an ebb, because we all ebb and flow, right? We ebb, we flow like water. But usually when I hit these dips, I get so frustrated with myself. And I just say, man, why didn't I know that this was going to happen? Why didn't I know that I was going to hit this dip right now? If I would have known, I would have done something to make it a little bit easier. But this time I was so happy that I realized that I was hitting a bit of a dip. And what I like to do in those moments is do the things that bring me joy, really, the things that nourish my creativity. What is it that you like to do besides your primary way of making art? One thing I know about artists for sure is that most of them are good at more than one thing. For instance, if you're a painter, do you also like to cook? Do you cook really well? If you love to sketch and draw, do you also play the piano, or are you into music? Usually with artists, I notice they're good at multiple things, but there's the one thing, the one primary focus that remains their focus. But there's so much more. And usually the other things, right? The other things that are around your primary source of making art are the ways to nourish, to nurture your inspiration, to nurture your creativity. What is that thing for you? Think about it. It's usually the thing that you love to do as a child, most times, because that's where all artists started. We all started as kids with that crayon, with our construction paper, just making what we wanted to make. We were kids with Legos, building. We were kids outside playing. We were kids who dreamed about the stars and we wanted to know what was up there. That's where our creativity started. And I say this to say, think about the things that you did when you were a child, or the things that you can do and just pass time, right? You can just do them. And before you know it, an hour is gone and you've had so much fun. That's the key, really. Fun. Play. That's how you nourish your creativity. That's how you refuel when your energy is low. You do those things that just spark joy, that pass time, that make you feel like you can do this all day.